A warm welcome to You're a Wizard, a magical sleep saga inspired by the world of Harry Potter, where you are the main character. As you take a moment to get comfortable, remind yourself that this is your story, and there are no limits to what you can add to this adventure. Anyone that you meet along the way throughout this saga can be whoever you want them to be. They might be people from your own life, a famous figure that you admire, or a character from the books. So be sure to bring along your own unique imagination. Let your thoughts turn to those of magic, wonder, and adventure as we continue our Harry Potter sleep saga. It is a bright and beautiful morning at the end of August, and you are sitting in your bedroom keeping cool in the summer heat. A small fan blows gently round the room, and a refreshing tingle washes over your face and body with its passing. Outside the open window, the sapphire sky is peppered with a wisp of cloud and backed by a golden sunrise. The sound of morning birds begins to drift into your room, and the bright green leaves of the trees outside ripple gently with the soft breeze. Directly opposite your window and across the street, you notice a small black and white cat lying out flat under the shade of a tree, fast asleep. Occasionally, you see their eyes flick up as one or two birds cross its path above them. But it's far too warm to consider chasing birds today. Once or twice, the cat looks directly at you, and you can't shake the feeling that they know something you don't. As you sit in your room, you find yourself remembering the dream you had last night, the dream you have most nights. The details are vivid. You see yourself standing outside a tall, beautiful castle with high grey towers and a courtyard of stone. Standing next to you is your best friend, one of the most important people in your life, and you both share a smile. You wear long, dark robes and carry a magic wand. Crowds of wizards are running back and forth happily, hurrying to lessons or enjoying a game with their friends. It feels safe here, secure and comforting. In this dream, you feel as though you have walked through the front door of your own home. The castle feels like an old friend that you have reunited with at last. You know that you have never seen that castle, only in your dreams. You're not even sure if it's real, but you have always felt that there is something different about you, something unique. And you'd be right to think so. You suddenly wake from the memory of your dream as you notice the outside breeze quickly change direction. The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. You feel different. You know today holds something special for you. In that moment, you hear a low hooting sound, and as you turn to look out of your window, you can hardly believe your eyes when you see a small brown owl flying steadily towards your window, something hanging from its beak. With a graceful beat of its wings, the owl lands softly on the outside ledge, hooting happily, having found its destination. It hops inside the window onto a small table nearby, patting its feet excitedly as its tiny head cocks to one side inquisitively. An excitement builds in your stomach. You have a feeling that all of your dreams are about to come true. The little owl hops toward you 3 times, 3 tiny hops, urging you to take the piece of paper from its beak. As you take it from the owl, you see that it is not a piece of paper, but a letter written in emerald calligraphy on a cream parchment, a letter addressed to you. Your eyes widen with amazement as you turn the letter in your hands and find an unbroken wax seal on the back. The seal bears a crest divided into 4, and in each quarter is a different animal: a lion, a serpent, an eagle, and a badger. Unable to resist, you break the seal and remove the letter from the envelope, unfolding the parchment. Across the top, in capital letters, reads "The Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry," and next to it is the same emblem as the wax seal, this time hand-drawn in black ink and pulsing with a steady light. Your heart beats in anticipation, and you read on excitedly as the message in the letter reveals something that deep down you have always known. There is a power in you, a magical power, and you are no ordinary soul. You are a wizard. It should be a surprise, and yet it feels as though every day of your life has been leading to this moment. It all makes sense. You notice a long paper ticket fall out of the letter, dated 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for the Hogwarts Express, leaving from platform 9 3/4. On a separate piece of paper is a long list of equipment, books, and items needed before your term starts. There is also a small silver key with a tag hanging from it. The writing on the tag conveys the fact that your Muggle money is no more. It has been transferred, and your new wizarding money awaits you now in your vault at the Great Goblin Bank, and it can be opened with this key. You have no idea where to find any of these things, but you know the letter holds the answer. Your eyes are drawn once again to the pulsing emblem at the top, and then you watch in amazement as a new message is being handwritten onto your letter in real time. The note reads, "When you are ready to begin your adventure, gaze upon the crest and speak the words, 'Take me there.'" For a moment, you hesitate. Everything seems to be happening so quickly, and your whole life is about to change. With a deep breath, you remind yourself that while change can be scary, it's far better than standing still. A world of magic, of wonder and possibility awaits you. A smile grows on your face as you stare at the glowing emblem and repeat the words, "Take me there." A magical sensation ripples through your body, and a warm, comforting darkness surrounds you. It feels as though you are becoming one with nature and gliding through the air. The letter acts as a portkey, and you are being taken to an enchanting realm. You land perfectly on 2 feet on a thin, cobbled street. For a moment, you are slightly disoriented, but as you take stock of your surroundings, you realize you are in the heart of London, but a very different London to the one you know. It feels like an old town set in another place and time, away from the hustle and bustle of city centre life. The small, crooked streets are hidden away. No one could find this place by themselves. The streets are narrow and dark. The sun is beaming across the sky, but right now its light only grazes the top of the thatched roofs high above you. Then, in a surreal moment, you see a small black and white cat appearing from a tiny alleyway further down the path. The cat approaches calmly and sits opposite you, looking up with a kind curiosity as its tail swishes left and right in no particular rhythm. Was it a trick of the light, or did this very familiar cat give you a slow wink? They stand up on all fours and begin to walk through your legs, swooping in a figure 8, giving off a gentle purr. Then it begins to walk ahead of you, flicking its tail in a gesture, and you know, when it turns around to look at you, that this graceful animal is inviting you to follow. You come to a cobbled stone wall, and as the cat approaches it, a small arched walkway emerges through the middle, appearing like an optical illusion. You follow the cat through the tight, dimly lit alleyway. The occasional lantern hangs on the curved ceiling, providing patches of golden light guiding your way. You carry on, changing direction ever so slightly, to the right, the left, left again, and right, before you come to a straight and narrow passage. At the end is a rickety old wooden door, and at the bottom sits your new friend, waiting patiently as you slowly approach the door. You place a hand against the wooden frame, and a warm, tingling sensation runs through your arm. You flick the latch and push open the door. A golden sunlight washes down over you now, and as your eyes adjust, you see a long cobbled street filled with magical shops and crowded with wizards just like you. The buildings are tall and slightly lean over the narrow street, but the sun is placed perfectly in the sky, illuminating the entire alley. The cobbled road continues in a gentle zigzag as far as you can see, and is lined with the many colours of the magical shops. A small metal sign is attached to the wall on your right. Diagon Alley. You continue to follow your new companion as they lead you through the crowds. Occasionally, they look back to check on you and make sure you haven't lost your way. But how could you be lost here? It feels just like home. You are right where you belong. It is a breathtaking sight, one that you will never forget. As you turn to look behind, you notice the wooden door has disappeared, keeping this perfect place hidden from the Muggle world. You check your letter once again to see where to go next. The first instruction is to visit the Wizarding Bank and give your key to the head goblin. Only then will you be taken to your vault. Your furry companion leads the way as you both walk down the street. The many wizards who pass you by give you a welcoming smile. Some are on their own, carrying many bags and scribbling items off their list. Others are in groups, laughing and playing games. You pass a collection of shops lined up on each side of you. In the green bay window of the shop to your left, you see a beautiful array of broomsticks with brown, black, and even silver handles. Some have smooth edges and curved branches. Others are more rugged and rustic. A congregation of wizards eye the broomsticks with desperation. A purple storefront sits on your right, with mannequins in different robes and uniforms, and many wizards trying on hats and jumpers. Outside the shop sits a long bookshelf with many second-hand books. But inside, through the window, you spy an enormous library, and the smell of old parchment drifts out into the street. You pass by a long line of wizards waiting to go into the next building on your left, the wand makers, to be given their very first and hopefully only wand. The next shop has a beautiful array of animals outside. Some are in cages, owls mainly, but there are also cats roaming free, rabbits, bats, and many more wonderful creatures. You look straight ahead now, and in front of you is a tall, slanted building, standing proudly high above the rest of the street and held up by thick, circular columns, as white as snow and lined with gold. The Great Goblin Bank. At the entrance of the golden doors stands a 3-foot goblin with large pointy ears, a long hooked nose, and square glasses resting on top. They wear a dark red uniform, again lined with gold, and their thick brown beard rests on the collar of their jacket. In their long fingers they hold a silver quill and a tightly rolled piece of parchment. The black and white cat leaps up onto a marble ledge and curls up for an afternoon nap. They will wait for you here while you take a trip inside the bank. As you climb the marble steps and approach the door, the goblin raises their hand and signals for you to wait there. You see the tightly rolled parchment remove itself from the goblin's grip and unravel in front of their face. The paper hits the floor and continues rolling down the steps, almost into the street. The goblin asks for your name, and you politely tell them. The parchment begins to slowly roll itself up again as the goblin scans each line. For a moment you are met with doubt, convinced now that there must have been some mistake and you will soon be sent back to the Muggle world. But then the goblin places a finger on the parchment and it stops rolling. They take their quill and put a line through your name on the scroll. They step back and gesture to the door. So it is real. You truly are a wizard. You look back down along the street, still full of life, and back to the sleepy cat, whose help you are grateful for today. You turn back to the large golden door before pushing it open and walking inside. The halls are white, again held up by gold marbled columns in a long row towards the middle of the bank. On each side of you are collections of dark brown desks with a goblin perched at each one, working away and lit by an old-fashioned lamp with a small chain hanging from it. The atmosphere is quiet now and still. The only sound is that of the many goblins scribbling on bank papers. It is a proud but unusual place. Nonetheless, you feel an excitement just being here, and there is a comfort in the quiet air. You begin to walk down the long hallway of the bank and toward a large golden white plinth, on which rests a mahogany desk, and there sits the head of the Goblin Bank, proud and commanding. As you approach the stand, the head goblin holds out a hand and requests your key for examination. You take the key from your pocket, but before you can hand it over, it is lifted out of your grip by magic and floats across the desk into the goblin's long fingers. They turn the key thrice in hand and examine it under a tiny golden machine with 8 different magnifiers. At last they lift their head, telling you that all is well, and if you'd like to follow their colleague, they will take you to your vault. From behind the plinth emerges an even smaller goblin, but their face is far friendlier than any goblin you have seen so far. They greet you with a bow and a smile, and you return the gesture. They wave your key in the air and almost skip with delight down a small corridor to your left. You cannot help but laugh at this cheeky fellow, and you follow the young goblin down the corridor. They lead you to a dark room lit by small oil lanterns, where in front of you sits a strange contraption. It looks like a mine cart, but the wheels stick out to the side of the main body and attach to the track. The track goes on through a tunnel as far as you can see. The body of the cart has 4 seats and several levers, and you have no idea what any of them do. The young, happy-faced goblin gives you an excited smile and tells you to climb into the cart. You are cautious at first, but he reassures you that there are hundreds of magical enchantments protecting this cart, and that you are perfectly safe. This is the safest place in the wizarding world, except, of course, the magical castle where you are destined to go. As you step in the cart and buckle yourself into a seat, he tells you that the green lever in front of you dictates the speed of the cart, and you can personally control it by simply pulling or pushing on the lever. You are completely safe and completely in control. Any hesitation is met with a new excitement as you hear the goblin push forward on his lever, and the cart pulls away. You begin to journey through the dark tunnel with a high ceiling and filled with a soft blue light. The smell of damp rock lingers in the air, and you can hear the goblin chuckling away happily. They turn to you with a smile and tell you that this is their favorite part of the job. Before you know it, the cart emerges from the tunnel and you enter a vast underground cavern full of shining crystals that decorate the open space with a rainbow of light. To your left is a long flowing waterfall cascading over the dark rocks and down below. As you control the speed of your journey, the cart takes you on long, sweeping corners, first to the right and then round to the left. You take in the wonderful, multicolored crystals all around you as you enjoy the soothing journey. A gentle wind strokes your cheeks and trickles over your arms. The goblin points to the waterfall and tells you you are about to witness something incredible. In that moment, the cart changes direction onto a new track and curves round towards the waterfall. There is a large gap between the flowing water and the rock face, creating a tunnel of water, and the new track leads you round behind the waterfall. You slow the cart right down and disappear under the tunnel of water. Through the pure and clear water, you see a kaleidoscope of color. Scarlet, sapphire, emerald, deep purple, and a bright yellow. All of these coming from the many crystals in the cave and shining through the water. Then a rainbow of dust from all the crystals begins to float around you, filling you with a beautiful magic. It is a mesmerizing thing to witness. As you come round the other side of the waterfall, the cart slowly descends and twists right into another tunnel now, much larger than the last, and decorated with yellow lanterns on the walls. At regular intervals, you notice there are large alcoves embedded in the walls, and each one has its own platform, behind which stands a tall, high-security door, riddled with locks. Then, at the end of the tunnel, you see a platform straight ahead, and you know that this is the one. As the cart comes to a stop, the goblin releases your buckles and you step out onto the dusty platform. In front of you now stands a tall black door with a beautiful humming sound coming from within. The 4-digit number on the door is your date of birth, month, then year. This vault has had your name on it from the day you were born. You have dreamt of this day your entire life, and now you are here. The goblin turns to you with a hop. He tells you that when he puts in the key, you need to place your hand on the door, as that is the only combination that will open it. He shuffles the key into the lock, and you rest your hand in the exact middle. You feel the door shudder. This ripples through your arm as the door gives way and opens from the middle. The left side swings out toward you, and the right panel opens inwards to the vault. Your vault is illuminated by a soft light in your favorite color and a single hanging oil lantern. Inside are all of your most valued possessions, safe and protected here. In one corner rests a large pile of coins, gold, silver, and bronze, all yours. On top of the pile is a small handwritten note which you take between your fingers. A short letter from the headmaster. They wish you luck in your adventure today, collecting your books and equipment and your wand, and they look forward to meeting you when you arrive at the castle. You fold up the letter, take a few handfuls of coins, and place them in your pocket. You turn around with a new excitement as you leave your vault. As you get back into the cart and set off on your return journey, your mind begins to wander as you take in everything that has happened, and you realize how lucky you feel in this moment. You are grateful for this day, grateful to the owl for bringing you your letter, to the cat for guiding your way, and grateful for the fact that this wonderful, magical world is yours now. Before you know it, the cart pulls up at the original platform. You unbuckle your belt and climb out of the cart. The cheeky little goblin leads you back towards the main hall. On the way, they talk happily to you, telling you about all their duties here at the Great Goblin Bank. They are in charge of looking after your vault, and they promise to keep everything safe and in perfect order for your return. As you reach the main door, the goblin hugs your leg tightly, and they wish you well on your journey and hope you come back soon. You kneel down and thank them for all their help and their wonderful company. You push open the door and wander back into the magical street.